Flip it on, flip it off, flip it on, flip it off. Have you ever really looked at your light switch plate when you're flipping it on and off? Hi, I'm Emily Heifel from the Greene 4-H Club in Greene County, and today I'm going to show you how to decorate your own light switch plate. I got this fun craft idea from a magazine, but it's credited to Rosie O'Donnell's book titled Crafty You. To make this craft, you'll need a light switch plate, flipper toggle, candy wrappers or stamps, Mod Podge glue. There are many different kinds. I just use glossy and sparkly, scissors, an ironing board, paper towels, a painting sponge, and I also recommend using a hard surface with wax paper over it to protect it. To make it, first decide whether you're going to use candy wrappers or stamps. If you're going to use candy wrappers, you're going to want to iron them, and I always like to work out my wrinkles with my fingers first. And it's also a good idea when you iron it to put a paper towel underneath it and on top of it so you don't ruin the iron or ironing board. And then just about 15 seconds you need to iron it, not moving it around too much. Once you finish that, use either your candy wrappers or stamps and arrange it in a cool design. And try to remember that when you take them off. Then use your painting sponge to paint some Mod Podge glue onto the light switch plate. You need to make sure you get around all the edges and all corners, or your materials will not stay very well. Then put your materials back on in the design that you had arranged earlier. They can be covering the holes and go off the edges because you can cut that off later. Once that dries, as this one already has, you can cut off any excess that there is on the edges. And you also want to cut the holes for the light switch and the screw holes. So it'll look kind of like this when you're finished. But you need to paint a second coat of Mod Podge glue on there. For this part, I use the sparkly. For this coat of Mod Podge glue, you don't need to be as exact because you're just trying to ensure that all the wrappers or stamps stay down. Once this coat of Mod Podge glue dries, your candy wrapper or stamped light switch plate is ready to install. I've made this several times. This one was my practice one, and I learned a couple of things from it. First, as I said earlier, if you don't put enough glue around all the edges, it won't stay. It is starting to come off on some of the corners. The second thing I learned, when you put on the second coat of glue, it will go on white, like it did here, but it dries clear, so there's nothing to worry about. I have also made some for friends and for my rooms. Something that made this very enjoyable for me was knowing that there are no mistakes in art. To buy one plain light switch plate, as this one was, cost me about 50 cents. And the Mod Podge glue, both Mod Podge glues and the painting sponge, cost me about $8.07. But I have used them both all of them for quite a while, so I've gotten a lot out of it. Today, I've showed you how to sweeten up your room by decorating your own light switch plate. You iron the materials, plan to design and remove, paint with Mod Podge glue a first time, put the materials back on in the design and let it dry, cut the excess, and paint with Mod Podge glue a second time. Then you're ready to use. Are there any questions?
How long does it take for that glue to dry?
Half an hour, I'd say. I'm sorry, the question was, how long does it take to dry? About 30 minutes? Yes? The question was, what different candy wrappers have I used? I've used bubble gum and Fruities, Dum Dum, sucker wrappers, and I also might use some Starburst. They're just ones that I've found around the house that I've saved before. Any other questions? If not, then this concludes my presentation.